but still a huge amount of money on the table. And we're out there working away. You know, I don't see the other guys. You know, I saw Frank Warren's interview on TalkSport. Great interview. Are you doing anything? Or is it just me going all around the world, knocking my cods out? I mean, that's the basis of this story. All I hear is people saying, it can't be done, it can't be done. Well, guess what? I'm trying to get it done. So let me do my work. You will have options on the table within the time frame of the original signed contract. Then it's over to you. I can't make Tyson Fury get in the ring and take this fight, or John.
What's good, family? Smash the like button and subscribe. So, we just heard there from Eddie Hearn exposing the whole of Team Fury. Firstly, Fish Eyes. And to be honest, not even just Fish Eyes, the whole lot of them. But mainly Fish Eyes and Bob Arum, because they're supposed to be people involved in this fight. Sitting there, stay hating. What have you, like Eddie Hearn said, have you actually done anything? And in fact, Eddie Hearn's asking this, the question is no. If Eddie Hearn, the man who's actively involved, wiggling, doing all the business deals, is asking you, are you doing anything? That means you ain't. Like, where is the pressure here? You've got Coogan, the shill, who, by the way, was sponsored nicely, handsomely. Matchroom is the reason IFL is where they are. Yeah, let's not forget that. Eddie Hearn made IFL what it is. Paid him, I think, $3,000 a month. And paid all their plane tickets and hotel tickets. Sponsored them nicely. Nonetheless, Coogan saying, well, Eddie, what are you going to say if this fight don't get done? Do you feel a pressure? Are you going to look bad? Fish Eyes. Fish Eyes is out here having done no work. And Bob Arum. But mainly Fish Eyes because he's in the UK. Bob Arum, Fish Eyes have done no work for this fight. You've heard that from Eddie. Factually confirmed. Not only, it's one thing to having done no work if you were silent. But these cats, they've done no work, and then they're critical. Well, Eddie, you know, you've only got 1 day to go. Tick-tock, we're doing no work. Oh, and you've only got 1 day to go. Oh, and it's never going to happen in a million years. You'd think, like for me, yeah, I've been at university before, and I've actually done group coursework. And sometimes you end up in a group where you have to carry them all on your back because they're lazy dons. But this for me is another level. It's one thing carrying your uni coursework group on your back. It's another thing to have the group's members of the group hating, criticising what you're doing and being negative, Nellies. Eddie Hearn doing all the work, which all of these men would benefit from if they want this fight, which they don't, which makes sense now. The only way it makes sense, this whole situation, you've got people, Fish Eyes, Bob Arum, who stand to make 10, 20 million from commissions. And there isn't not a positive bone in their body. If Fury had advised them that he wants this fight, they'd be doing a lot more. It would be an active business process. At the moment, it's all one-sided. We know that's not how 50-50 partnerships and splits work. Not in a million years. For example, just look at the Wilder versus Fury fight. You didn't hear of Frank Warren doing it all. That there was Shelley, Frank and everything in between. Everyone was working together to get the fight on. 100%. It wasn't one team doing it all and the other team sitting back hating, being negative. In fact, I don't remember either team for Wilder versus Fury, for both of the fights. I don't remember any team being negative. I don't remember any team being tasked with doing it all. I don't remember the 28-day clause being a big issue. Why wasn't Fury doing countdowns then? I tell you why. Because he wanted the fight. Now, over the last 3 months, Fury has told his team, I don't want this fight. Not now, and probably not ever. And that's why otherwise it doesn't make sense. If Fury had told his team he wants this fight, you best believe Fish Eyes, Bob Arum would be a lot more active, and they wouldn't be negative. They'd be neutral to positive. And we've seen Fish Eyes and Bob Arum be excited for something. They're the biggest, they're almost as bad as, in fact they're worse at points than Eddie Hearn with their positivity. All of a sudden we can't get one of them man to say a good word. Why is that? I'll tell you why. Fury's already told them, I'm not signing anything, it's not happening. So in their mind, they've got some information that we don't have. So that's why they've not, like, from an outsider point of view, if you can't deduce the maths, if you can't deduct what's going on, it looks as if this is a bit of a weird situation, but it's really not. The only thing that balances this equation is the fact they know it ain't happening. So they're thinking, well, all we can do now is chill for Fury and try and do damage control and make him look the best. Because whilst Fury's told them it's not happening right now, they can't come out and say that. Yeah, well, Fury told us 4 months ago he don't want no smoke with AJ. Instead, which they've been doing relatively well, they've come up with a game plan, venues, regulations, even though I heard the other day the government was saying it's all opening up. Well, in fact, Wembley have come out today and said, no problem, AJ and Fury can be staged here. So what's Fisheye's talking about, oh, well, you know, regulations and things are closing down? It's completely factually wrong. But yet still, they keep banging on the same drum, which is false, provably false. And no one, Coogan happy to stay blaming Eddie and finger pointing at Eddie. Meanwhile, Fisheye's gets an easy go. No problems. And it makes me laugh because just imagine for a second, yeah, this was Team AJ. I did a video a second ago on Tyson Fury doing the whole countdown. Oh, 1 day to go, 3 days to go. Imagine if that was AJ. Imagine if Eddie Hearn were just sitting back and saying, well, this fight isn't imminent and I'm not really bothered and the regulations and C19. Imagine it. People would go mental, and rightly so. But where's the outcry? I haven't even seen one newspaper do an article on it. Imagine it. If AJ was the one tweeting these goofy things out about countdowns, or better yet, if Eddie Hearn just sat back and made excuses why the fight can't happen, and it was Fisheyes running around doing it all, there'd be uproar. And Coogan would be saying to Frank, why do you think Eddie Hearn ain't doing nothing? Why do you think... We didn't hear no questions. Coogan didn't ask Eddie no questions about why Frank ain't doing nothing, about why Fury's acting weird. And we understand why, because Coogan likes to sit on the fence. He needs to go over there and beg for views from Fury as well, rather than being fair and on the line. At this point, how Team Fury have acted, to be a true journalist, or whatever you want to be a true human, you can't no longer be neutral on this one. You have to be asking decent questions, like what is going on here, because it's not normal in any sense of the word. Someone needs to step up and say to Fury, what are you doing posting out countdowns for? Like, what if you want this AJ fight? What benefit is that? I don't understand it. You want this fight? How is that helping the fight come? What does it matter if there's a time limit or not? The time limit should be irrelevant for someone wanting to take part in the fight. No? Oh no. John Fury, some next boxing social don, interviews John Fury. This allows him to chill. No one wants to put any pressure on them. Just shook. And I get it. Listen, I wouldn't really want to fly around the world or drive around the world interviewing people, but that's why I'm not doing it. Don't do it or do it. Don't be a sit on the fence and chill, because you best believe, if it was AJ, for some reason, they'll question AJ, no problem. Oh, AJ, you got no heart. Oh, AJ, they haven't got no problem. I remember seeing Coogan. Coogan had no problem. I swear down. When AJ lost to Ruiz, the next week, Coogan interviewed AJ and said, oh, AJ, people say that you got no heart. How do you respond to that? I swear down. He had no problem saying it. Fury gets knocked out by Wilder. At that point, he should have said, Fury, people are saying you're chinless because you got knocked out by a Don with no power. Where was that question? Didn't hear it. Instead, Coogan went in there with Fury and said, oh, Fury, you've got the greatest chin in history. People call you the Undertaker. What? No, you got knocked out by a man who's never knocked no one out, which means you got chinny, which means you're chinless. It just shows the contrast is amazing. Truly amazing. Same as Fisheyes. If this was Eddie Hearn, if he swapped the roles, there'd be uproar. As they are, people just, I don't even know what it is. I really don't. I can't explain it. Either way you look at it, it's a disappointment to the sport as well. I don't want to get all sentimental, but it really is. Now in my mind, I've already said that I'm 99.9% sure this fight ain't going to happen. And if the truth be known, I already felt that anyway. Even from December, I told you, man, I'm probably only 60% sure this fight don't happen. I've never been over 50% sure it happens. I've always had a negative bias. Things have never lined up. Fury's behaviour hasn't lined up from December. The minute he went on that Good Morning Britain tour, I knew something was fishy, because he never did that for the Wilder fight. He was loving it. He loved the Wilder fight. All over it he was. The minute he started spinning narratives, and now he's found one that's kind of stuck. This 28-day business, that's the one he's going to go with. Well, it expired. Sorry, moving on. And what Fury will say, by the way, just quickly before I go, Fury's going to say, the 28-day has expired, and I must fight twice this year. Because people will have the question, well, Fury, the 28 days has expired, but why can't you just give Eddie Hearn the expiration? He'll say, or give Eddie Hearn another extension, 2-3 days. He'll then say, I haven't got no time to play around. I've already played around for 18 months. I can't afford any more time out the ring. I'm not playing Eddie Hearn's games. We're moving on. I must fight 2 times this year. I've already told you over the last month, I'm fighting twice this year no matter what. AJ didn't want it. AJ, the contract expired, and we're moving on. We're not playing games. It will happen when it happens. That's what's coming next. Word for word. Mark my words right now. That's what's coming. When you add it all up, the countdown, how much they've been riding this 28-day business. I'm sick of talking about 28 days. Sounds like a bad B movie. Sounds like some goofy horror movie. I think there was one called 28 Days Later, you know. That's how bad it is. Yeah. Some cheap knockoff horror movie. And it is a horror movie for the sport. It's a shocker. We can't, I don't know what it, well I do know what it is. You got people masquerading as, I'm a warrior. I come from 400 years of fighting men. Well, you don't. And if you do, you're a disappointment to them. Because if you do come from 400 years of fighting men, your ancestors are rolling in the grave, thinking what a disappointment you are. Because they was fighting for pennies. You're getting millions and you're shook. You're shook to bits. And you keep giving it the good talk about we'll go in there, we'll do it for free, we'll fight him on the cobbles. You're meant to be a boxer. Fury's never fought on the cobbles. I've never seen him fight on the street. So what are you on about? Just do what you're paid to do. No one's asking you to go on the cobbles. Just do what you signed up for. Or don't. And be honest and retire. I'm scared. AJ's the bigger man. I'm shook. And that's the end of that. And no, I won't knock you. That's the thing. No one's calling for someone to do something they don't want to do. No one wants to see Fury fight a gorilla if you don't want to fight a gorilla. I get it. I wouldn't want to fight a gorilla either. But don't be giving it I'd knock the gorilla out in 1 minute, and then comes to it, and you're, C19 and Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather.